Particularly if you know how volatile Brazil has been in the last couple of days, the fans not being happy, protests everywhere, looking forward to the Brazil national team, helping them to come into the competition and to calm their nerves. I mean, it will be really unsettling for the fans, for the Brazilians, if the Seleção cannot get something out of this game. It further puts pressure even on the entire government of Brazil if they do not get a result from this game. But let's come home and once again and talk about Nigeria. How will the average Nigerian fan enjoy the games of the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Brazil? Are you going to watch alone at home, or are you going to go to a viewing center to watch a game with other football fans who will also try to enjoy the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Brazil? We have this for you. Sit back and listen to it. It's a warning against going to a crowded viewing center, given the peculiarity of the Nigerian environment in terms of security. Let's take this, we'll listen to it, we'll come back, give you more updates around what is happening in that first game of the 2014 FIFA World Cup on Sports Tonight.
That things happen, we are supposed to be on the lookout for strange people in our midst and then report this to the police. We don't do that. Well, I might not be able to say why we don't do it. And then for the places we have the incidences of insecurity, mostly, or the issue of terrorism, terrorists may not likely announce where they're going to strike. But definitely some of us, some Nigerians, and some of us get to hear this, and then we keep it to ourselves.
At every point in time, there's always a way out. And this time around, we've come to realize that the matches of the World Cup are going to be played at the unfortunate times of the night, where people are expected to be in their families, with their families at home. So I think my advice is that people should endeavor to stay back at home and watch. Thank God the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, BON, is partnering with relevant people to bring the matches live on terrestrial TV. People should try and afford themselves the opportunity of staying with their families and watching these matches at home. That could, to a very large extent, reduce the security challenges.
So I'm not looking at the security challenges. Rather, I'm looking at football as a unifying factor. It has always been, and I'm sure this one won't be an exception. But if I may advise, which was on a lighter note anyways, that if you are watching and Nigeria is losing, please leave that place immediately, because you never can tell who will be angry to let go whatever is within and or sometimes without. So it's my advice that if Nigeria is losing, please leave the place before the final whistle.
I want to commend the federal government for the efforts being made to stem the tide of insecurity in the country. And I want to also say that though we are good in watching matches in groups where you interact, you discuss, you argue, you bet, this time around, because of the challenges we are having in the country, I would want to advise that if you have your money, you go and get your television, subscribe to the DSTV, so that you can be watching the matches live in your bedroom.
All right, so Nigerians are giving you all kinds of suggestions on how you can enjoy the 2014 FIFA World Cup. Particularly interesting, that man that says if Nigeria is losing a game, try to leave the place before the 90th minute, before the end of the whistle. What about if Nigeria is winning? Stay around and enjoy the game.
But the guy should have said, pray that we win.
Yeah, we should pray to win. But, I mean, it's just giving an advice in case things do not really go the way.
I think we're not used to becoming a bit violent when our team lose. We don't demonstrate. If we lose a game, instead of descending on the away team, we descend on our own team. We don't take it against ourselves. The only thing we do, we'll complain on social media, we talk, and we shout, but we don't go overboard. Even in celebration, sometimes we do. In the past, we had some wise celebration, but now we are becoming moderate in celebration because we know what it will cost us. Lives have been lost. We've committed some. And
we really need to let this sink at this period because there will be plenty of football.
There's
to
plenty
watch.
of football.
There will be plenty of football.
Especially big games. And it's where you have betting. You have to be a bit careful.
When you put your money in
the cup and they are losing, and somebody is making you get hungry. At the end of the day, you just pick up a bottle, and we've seen cases in the past. We want to avoid that.
Things
but the fans
really
to enjoy football. Football is just entertainment. Where you must have put your money in the football game, but don't take it beyond. Because once you commit an offense and you are caught by the police, then you have to face the wrath of the law.
All right, so that's the advice for you as you get ready, as we move into the middle of the World Cup. It's just starting. It's just gathering momentum. It's important for you to understand that it's a game, and your life is far more important than whatever could come out of it. Just to update you once again, 23 minutes already played in that opening game of the 2014 World Cup. Croatia are still leading Brazil by a goal to nil. Own goal scored by Marcelo in the 11th minute has given the Croatians the lead, and that game is still on. Dumnodi, let's talk about tomorrow, because the World Cup is starting today with just the opening game that is going on right now. But tomorrow we have two big games, Africa will have a first game at the 2014 World Cup tomorrow. The Indomitable Lions of Cameroon will be up against Mexico tomorrow. And then we have Chile against Australia. Another game that will be coming up tomorrow. So, Dumnodi, let's fill us in very quickly about what to expect. The first game tomorrow, Mexico against African brothers Cameroon. And then later on in the evening, Chile against Austria. These are the games in Group B of the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Brazil.
You know the beauty of the World Cup, especially when it involves African country. The first country that will play will give you an insight on what some other Africans will bring to the table. And that is it. It gives you that, if Cameroon wins against Mexico, it means that all African countries will want to follow suit. Because we've seen that in the past, even though Nigerians seems to break that particular trend in the past. But it's very key for the Cameroonians against
Good
Mexico.
for Africa to start
the first game between Brazil and Croatia, whoever wins, you're going to face one of these teams. And if you lose your first game and you're going to play the next team, opponent is going to be either Brazil or Croatia.
It could be very crucial for you.
Very crucial. So the Cameroonians must take the game by the jugular, take it to the Mexicans, and see if they can get a decent result against the Mexican team. Because this group is going to, we are likely going to see at least one of Brazil, Mexico, Croatia. At least some of the team that have been tipped to qualify for the next round, one of them will crash out. But I don't want the Cameroonians to crash out. I don't want African to crash out. At this point, I want the African team to do, because the first round game will determine how far the Africa team will go at the World Cup. The second game, Spain, Netherlands, the repeat of the 2010 World Cup.
Spain, Netherlands.
Biggest. I want to see that game, because it's just like
a repeat of last year's final
for Netherlands, for Spain, an opportunity to establish their dominance, their superiority over the Dutch. So, future game, two coaches on the bench who have won the Champions League at different clubs, Luis Van Gaal and Vicente de Bosque. These are pretty experienced coaches. They don't make too much noise. They don't give in to film and talk. They do the job on the pitch. So the players will justify that. Chile, Australia, another game, because it's very key. If Chile wins, it means, because that Chilean team, a lot of people say Spain and Netherlands will go through. But we've seen the group where you have Netherlands. We've seen the group where you have Netherlands and they don't qualify from that group, even though a lot of people tip them to qualify. The Euro 2012 is an example. Denmark qualified ahead of the Netherlands, and they had to crash out at that point in time. So, very massive game, but I'm putting my eyes on Cameroon. I'm going to be focusing on African team. Please, permit me, if you call me an Africanist, I'm going to be focusing on the African team. I want to see how well the African team will do, how far they can go, so that we know what an African team can produce at the end of the tournament.
All right, so that's it. So, actually, not 2 games tomorrow. You're going to be having 3 games tomorrow. You're going to be having Cameroon against Mexico. You're going to be having Spain against the Netherlands. That's a repeat of last year's final. And then you're going to be having Chile against Australia. These are the games lined up for tomorrow. So it's going to be a loaded day of action tomorrow in the 2014 FIFA World Cup Brazil. All right, we need to go on a quick break now. When we return from the break, we'll spend the time to take a look at the Globe Premier League. We are going to be approaching the mid-season with outstanding games to be played on Saturday. We'll talk about the top 4, the bottom 4, and of course, look at outstanding games. And then talk about transfers. There was a big move from Spain to England today, and it's already generating plenty of reactions from fans. We'll talk about all of that and more on Sports Tonight.
Come my voice, here to win. It's my choice. You can dream if you believe. Give it all you've got.
Yo, listen, losing was never an option. I've always been destined to win. Yo, my speed and stability, all my ability came from within. As long as I see my potential, there's no limit to what I'll achieve. Yo, give it up for the master.